What's up, guys? Welcome to Dynasty Drip today. First off, I want to thank all of you that commented or watched the video that came out on Monday. I was asking for advice on how to make these videos better, more watchable, or just in general a higher quality product. So those that watched or commented, thank you, thank you, thank you. I really did take your advice to heart. I'm going to start trying to do some of those things better and improve the videos for you guys because I want to bring you the best content possible. Today's topic is going to be sell players in Dynasty. Most of these examples are kind of tier downs as well. I'm not always necessarily a hardcore tier up, tier down. I really do think it depends on each of the examples. But in general, I try to tier up. So I was trying to look for some tier down trades that I did find valuable. In addition to talking about the players, giving you guys some KTC, keep trade cut ideas of things I would do. I also pulled some trades from Dynasty Data Labs, which literally pulls trades directly from Sleeper and actual Dynasty leagues to go over some trades that have actually gone down for some of these players to show that it is possible to make these trades in your Dynasty league. But thank you guys for returning to the channel. I'm super stoked to bring you guys Dynasty Drip. Hit subscribe, hit like, shoot a comment if you have advice, trade questions. You just want to say great job, bad job, honestly anything. I will respond to everything and I appreciate you guys watching. So after the lengthy intro, let's get into it. Dynasty sells for today. First player, someone I really did used to like. I just think the time has come and gone for this player as an elite asset. And that's going to be Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle currently wide receiver 27 on KTC. It's just a little too high for me personally. I like Jalen Waddle as a player. He's had a rough couple years, and with Tyreek Hill still being there, now the emergence of Devin Achane. Obviously, we still have these Tua injury lingering concerns where if Tua goes down, basically that offense just completely shuts down. And so kind of the combination of all those things is why I'm wanting to sell Jalen Waddle now. He's going to be 27 by the end of the season, and even though I don't think that personally means Dynasty players are going to fall off a cliff, the market kind of does. So the trade idea here I have for Jalen Waddle is, can we move Jalen Waddle in a third to pick up Jerry Jeudy in a second? I kind of see Jerry Jeudy and Jalen Waddle as very, very similar assets. So if I'm able to turn a 3 into a 2 for the 2026 draft, I think this is an absolutely slam trade that I would do right away if someone sent me this. Now we're going to bring up a couple actual trades from Dynasty Data Labs that were made using Jalen Waddle. First one here, Jalen Waddle, Zach Charbonnet. They were able to pick up Pickens, Kobe Myers in a second. Pretty similar to kind of what I went over, is picking up a wide receiver kind of in that tier down. But a player that I don't really view much different than Jalen Waddle, a player who's the wide receiver 2 on his own team on potentially a more pass-happy offense in Dallas. The second, Jacoby Myers, Zach Charbonnet. I mean, I'm saying Pickens in the second, Myers for Sharb. I think it's pretty close here. Next trade we're going to go over, Jalen Waddle, a fourth and a third, gets you TJ Hawkinson, a second and a fourth. I mean, I would do this all day. I think I would probably just take TJ Hawkinson straight up for Jalen Waddle if I was looking for a tight end. The fact that you get a 2 and are only really giving a 3 and a 4, which I don't really, you get a 4, they get a 3 and a 4. I don't really care about those. So Hawk and a 2 for Waddle, like, that's a killer trade, man, and I would do that every day of the week. Next player we're going to talk about, it involves 2 players I really do speak about a lot. One player I love, one player I've talked about selling, but I'm going to bring him up again because his value has not dropped, and I think there's some good deals to be had with this guy, and that's going to be Garrett Wilson. I like Garrett Wilson as a player. I'm just not convinced he really deserves his wide receiver 13 ranking. I mean, one more non-elite season from Garrett Wilson, and I think his ranking could really start to plummet, especially as some of the wide receivers, maybe from this draft and the last couple drafts, might even start to rise over him in some of these rankings. I just don't know if there's going to be the passing volume with Justin Fields to make this a worthwhile hold in Garrett Wilson. I mean, yes, there's a chance he has a good season, but I don't really think it's worth the risk. The trade I want to talk about today is, can I move Garrett Wilson in a third to pick up Jordan Addison and a 27 first, man? It says this is fair. I'm not saying that it's going to get done 100%, but I think the value really is there for selling Garrett Wilson right now. I love Jordan Addison. I think he's an underrated player. And if I can get a first on top of Jordan Addison by selling Garrett Wilson, it's something I totally would do. And I really was looking through the trades on Dynasty Data Labs. I'm going to pull one up here. Garrett Wilson for 25 first, to 26 first, and a 26 second. The value is totally there still with Garrett Wilson. I'm going to pull another one up. Garrett Wilson and Brock Purdy tearing up into Lamar Jackson. That is Garrett Wilson's name value getting that trade done. I like Brock Purdy as a late QB1 or something. But the fact that all you have to give is Garrett Wilson on top to get up to Lamar, Garrett Wilson is still just holding way too much weight for me. I really think he probably deserves to be valued more as like wide receiver 18 or 19, closer to the Devonta Smith, Jordan Addison, Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, kind of that tier. And he's really just holding that high value because of his draft capital and just some love for his talent, which I get. He's a very talented player, but at some point we have to admit that maybe they're not going to produce like we want them to. Next one's going to be a running back, and I just think I like this player. I understand if you are on a complete contender win now team, you might not move this player. But I think for everyone else, Jonathan Taylor is a guy I'm going to look to sell. And it really just comes down to I don't fully trust the Indianapolis offense enough to make this worthwhile as a hold. Jonathan Taylor currently RB10 on KTC. I'm not saying you shouldn't be RB10, but I'm just saying that holds way more value than I really think deserves to be so. My trade idea here is, can I move Jonathan Taylor and Javonte Williams to pick up Chuba Hubbard and a 27 first? Chuba Hubbard, a guy spoke about last night on a live stream, a guy I've talked about before, who I just think is underrated right now in Dynasty. He signed a contract. He's going to be there. I'm not worried about Rico Dowdle and his one-year deal. And Chuba Hubbard was basically a running back one in a dumpster fire of a Carolina offense last year that started to kind of get their stuff together later in the season. I'd expect a little more momentum this year. Probably take another step forward if Bryce Young can grow. I think McMillan's going to help that offense as well. So for me, I don't know how many RB slots you're really moving down here. I mean, maybe Jonathan Taylor can finish as a top 8 guy. You know, if he stays healthy, he totally can and should. But if Chuba's finishing at 12 or 13 and you're getting the first on top of this, that's a slam deal I'm going to make every day. And just looking at Jonathan Taylor's value on Dynasty Data Lab, I think it really holds true as well. Here's a trade, Jaden Reed, a first and a second for Jonathan Taylor. So you're picking up a wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, and a first and a second for a guy that I don't necessarily know like if I want to hold on or how much longer Jonathan Taylor is going to hold his value. This next one is absolutely crazy. I mean, if you're getting Ladd McConkey in a first for Taylor, a 3 and a 4, I'm not saying that's what you're going to get, and I wouldn't expect that to be your expectation, but this is a trade you make as soon as it comes in your inbox. You don't even counter, you just hit accept. So last player we're going to cover, and before I cover this last player in my sell video, I want all of you guys to know I did start a Discord for the Dynasty Drip channel. The link is in the description down below. It's a better way to get in contact with me if you want to chat fantasy football, have trade advice, startup advice. We're also trying to put together the first ever Dynasty Drip Dynasty League. So if you want to be a part of the inaugural Dynasty Drip Dynasty League for the YouTube channel, make sure to join the Discord and get in before it's too late. But let's get back to the video. My last sell of the day, another running back, and that's going to be Zach Charbonnet. Zach Charbonnet currently valued RB26 on KTC, which for me is just too high for a guy that really profiles to be the backup spell on his own team. I mean, I know there are some Kenneth Walker haters. I'm not one of them. I just think Kenneth Walker is a better player. He's a more dynamic player, and he's a dynamic runner, and I think he's going to do enough to keep Charbonnet off the field, where Charbonnet is not really going to see value or a value rise unless Kenneth Walker gets hurt. But I think there's a lot of players below Zach Charbonnet in the RB rankings that would benefit from that same exact situation happening. I'm choosing one today that we're going to use in this trade advice. I think other ones, you know, Tajay Spears, Trey Benson, guys you could tier down to from Charbonnet and pick up some draft capital that really are viewed more as handcuffs as well. So my trade idea here for Zach Charbonnet is, can I move Charbonnet and a 26 fourth to pick up Ray Davis and a 27 second? I think for me, I think Charbonnet's value is about a second anyway. So if I can get the second, and then a guy who I still think has some contingent upside in Ray Davis along top of that second round pick, I think these are the kind of trades you should be making. Like I said, Tajay Spears in a second, Trey Benson in a second. You find a guy who likes Charbonnet. Can we get a second round pick and some sort of handcuff with contingent upside? Checking out over on Dynasty Data Lab, I think Charbonnet is still holding enough value that I think there's some good trades to be made here as well. Charbonnet in a fourth for Toot in a third and a second. Same thing. Bashal Toot in a third and a second just for Charbonnet in a fourth. I think that's a great deal. Another one very similar, Kyle Williams in a second for Charbonnet in a third. Tearing up from the third to a second in the 26 class. Basically, for I see as a pretty fair trade, Kyle Williams for Zach Charbonnet. I think Kyle Williams has more upside to be a difference maker for your dynasty team than Zach Charbonnet does. But thank you guys so much for tuning into the channel. I really did take your advice and your suggestions to heart. I'm trying better. I'm making the background better. I'm making sure the mic is working today. So please comment below if you appreciated how we ran the show today. I also brought up some not only trade ideas from KTC, but using some real Dynasty League trades using this Dynasty Data Lab. So if you guys enjoyed that today, make sure to let me know in the comments below. As always, if you are not subscribed, please hit subscribe. Give me 30 days to make your Dynasty team better. Hit like on the video, and thank you guys. I came at you with an extra video this week just to show how much I appreciate you guys watching the channel. So thank you guys, and take it easy.